Are they okay? Are they okay? Really listen. We should have been in that crash.
And then
So that was kind of fun, and it's been over a year, and I still have no intention of returning a phone. You don't have a group of friends. That's really hard. I'm sorry that you're in that situation.
Mindfully, thank you. A controversial YouTube star out of Ivins has been arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse. Police were called after a neighbor reported a child escaped through the window to get help, which led to the arrest of the child's mother, Ruby Franke.
Fox 13 News reporter Lucy Nelson has the details on the alarming conditions they say the children were found in.
Without bail and behind bars sits a woman who once freely roamed around her home, filming her family in front of up to 2.3 million subscribers. Ruby Franke, known as a momfluencer, documented the life of her husband and 6 children in southern Utah in her YouTube channel 8 Passengers, which was taken down earlier this year. Come Wednesday, she resurfaced in the public eye when one of her children escaped through a window and knocked on a neighbor's door, requesting food and water.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and welcome. Today's story is one that hits close to home. A child who escaped one home and ran to a neighbor's was found malnourished with duct tape and opened wounds. This child's mother, Ruby Franke, ran a YouTube channel called 8 Passengers. This channel had many critics who believed that her actions of disciplining her children would go too far. And sadly, just a few days ago, it did. So we will cover this story and much more in today's video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we cover true crime, mystery to the missing. Back in 2015, a YouTube channel called 8 Passengers would be created. This would be a family vlog of the Franke family, who was a Mormon family that lived in Springville, Utah, which is my home state and why this story hits so close to home for me. The mother, Ruby Franke, would be at the center of this vlog. It consisted of her husband and their 6 children. Not long after the channel started, people who were watching were beginning to notice some red flags. Not only was this a family vlog, but it was Ruby's chance to show the audience how she disciplined her kids, which many times were way over the top, and people grew concerned. One of the children, Chad, was forced to sleep on a beanbag chair for well over 6 months because of a simple prank he committed on a sibling.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I was sleeping on a beanbag since October, and they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom. I think so. I think this is the reason. At least this is the reason that's been in my head.
But the horrors wouldn't stop there, and they would continue.
And she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? This happens quite often when you're raising children, because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch, and it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with lunch. But I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry. And hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
This would raise even more flags. So much so that anyone can just type in 8 Passengers and you'll see tons of videos on YouTube from years back. Many different YouTubers raising their concerns that something bad was going to happen. Although the channel would hit millions of subscribers, it would receive much controversy. And eventually the father would move out with one of the kids. And although the two, Ruby and Kevin, have separated, they are apparently still married. With many, including members of the family, raising awareness to the bold and outrageous behavior that was conducted on this channel, YouTube would be forced to delete this channel early this year in 2023. But this wouldn't stop Ruby, as she would start another channel with a lady called Jodi, who lived in Ivins, Utah, in the southeastern part of Utah. This channel was called Connections Classroom, which was like a podcast setting where the two of them talked about disciplinary tactics for children and more.
With people's advice, and they didn't have a mother up the front saying, I don't care what the world's opinion is, this is the truth and this is where I stand. And fortunately, I had a chance. I had them in my home long enough to do it, and I'm not going to lose them. They're seeing truth, they're accepting truth, they're loving truth. And so this is my passion, is to invite you to stand in truth and put your opinions to the side for a minute, because your kids are the target of distortion.
Jodi also had a life counseling service as well. The podcast would take place inside Jodi's home, the one that would eventually be all over the news on August 30th.
The young child escaped from and went to a neighbor's house asking for food and water. They said that that child was severely malnourished, along with another one they found inside the same home. Now, we talked to neighbors in this area, and they said that they don't really know the homeowner of this home very well, but she's in business with a woman who has gained a huge following online, with YouTube videos getting hundreds of thousands of views.
The juvenile, who was Ruby's own 12-year-old son, was described as emancipated and malnourished, with open wounds and duct tape around his extremities. The child had crawled out the window and ran to a neighbor's home, begging for food and water. They would call the authorities. When authorities arrived, they found another child, a 10-year-old daughter of Ruby's, who was severely malnourished, and the two of them were taken to the hospital. They would also recover a total of 4 children. All of them were Ruby Franke's children. During a search warrant, they found video evidence of prior recordings of the two just days before, meaning that Ruby knew of what was going on in this home. According to a police scanner, it sounded like Ruby was at the hospital where the kids were taken, but was not allowed to see them. She would try to take off, but would be eventually arrested. Ruby and Jodi would both be arrested. Recently, the judge requested the bail for the two women to be denied. This is an absolute tragedy, and what makes this even worse is the fact that so many had raised concerns years ago, believing that Ruby would take this too far and that these poor kids would get hurt or worse because of their own mother's actions, who used her kids for fame. As soon as there's more news, I will do an update video on this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Please be kind to each other. Smash that like button and subscribe if you're new, as we cover much on this channel. And be sure to tell someone you love them, and I love you all. Thank you.